What up, y'all? I'm back with another review, and I'm here to review the newest studio album from Loyle Carner entitled Hugo. This is Loyle's third album, and I've been aware of Loyle for a while now. I forget what song it was that he dropped. I'm just going to say before 2020. It might have been 2018, 2019. Um, because it's just so easy to remember a time freaking before before COVID. I forget what song it was in particular that put me onto him, but ever since then, uh, I've been, in a sense, a fan, someone who looks out for what he's doing. I've always known he's dope. It wasn't just that song. There are other tracks that he's released off albums. Like I said, this is his third. Um, and I've just known that he's dope. His beat selection, his delivery, what he rhymes about. I've just always known that he's dope, and I'm glad that I'm finally getting to review a project of his. Not that I haven't had the chance in the past, but an album that finally really resonates with me has dropped. He has dropped, and it's like an extension of the Black experience because Loyal is from the UK. So yeah, this is an extension of the Black experience, just with from the UK perspective, but still Black. So I find myself relating to it, of course. Let's go ahead and get right into the review. This first track, Hate. Actually, give me 1 second. Actually, this seems so. Me doing this right here. This seems so unprofessional. Okay, here we go. So, the first track, Hate. Uh, this is where Loyal, like just saying his name, like the way it's pronounced. I mean, the way it's spelled, but the way I'm pronouncing it, it's like I'm saying loyal, Loyal. Like for all I know, it could be pronounced a totally different way. But Loyal here lists all of his hates as well as his loves. Um, the list of hates includes his high expectations, time, everything that he isn't or ain't, everything he does or touches. But he loves the rainfall. He loves having a full plate in a bank account, a full bank account, and who he's met along the way on this journey. And he also lists his fears here as well, with like women, love, religion, drugs, his skin color, his kin, etc. And I love how he speaks on um, how the stigma is if you're black, all you can be is a rapper or a ball player. So he ups those who became more and left the track. And this beat sounds like a Lensman beat, or at least what I've heard of Lensman from his Bobby LP in 2019, 2018, 2019. Yeah. Now, of course, Loyal himself he's a rapper, he's an MC. So, in a sense, I guess you could say, oh, well, he's living up to the stigma. But what's wrong with that? It's like, it seems to be. I don't. Let me not get too deep here. Let me not start talking about things that have nothing to do with the album, even though in a sense they kind of do, given what the album is about. Let me just say this. Even if he does live up to that stigma in a sense, being a rapper, it's an avenue that seems to be geared towards, or as far as Africans, blacks go worldwide, it seems to be something that we at least gear more towards. It seems like an avenue, not specifically for us, but just we feel more like this is an outlet for us and outside of the fucking broken capitalist system. Now, this next track, Nobody Knows. Um, Here it's kind of bluesy and gospel like, but it's up tempo at the same time. He expresses how he told a black man that he didn't understand, but the white man wouldn't take his hand. So he sat alone in the shadows of a man, meditating on who he is. And outside there was the sun waiting to greet him, and he touches on the realizations of his relationship with his father after he passed. At least I think he passed. In other tracks on this album, it sounds like his father may still be alive. I'm not sure. Um, but he goes on to talk about how different his kid, Lowell's kid, might be and will be, and how he won't relate to the pain in Loyal's eye, and he just contemplates how Loyal himself could hate his father without hating himself. Man, deep. The next track, Georgetown, featuring John Agard. Agard? Mm, um, this is more on that traditional or to be expected, I guess, type of hip hop beat here. Um, he talks about being black like the key on a piano, but also white like the key on the piano. So I guess that means that my man here is biracial. Um, I can relate to an extent. I'm mostly black, but yeah, biracial. Here I feel Loyal's appreciation for emceeing because it's a poetic endeavor in itself, or at least he makes it that. I mean, it is. Let's be honest, it is. But certain artists have a way of uh, catering more towards, uh, I guess, traditional poetic aesthetics. But putting your own twist on it does not take away from how poetic it is in the first place. That's just some haters who want to say some other bullshit. This is that kind of music within the whole album. I mean, not just this track, but the whole album really is. It's the kind of music that I find myself thinking I should play or request being played when I go to poetry readings when we're having our breaks and um, they ask for requests. In this next track, Speed of Plight, uh, he asks, like, is the world moving fast for you as well? Because he expresses not being able to keep up with time. He's missing birthdays. He's trying to find a piece of his youth. And to drop a quotable here, he says, look at what's in front of you. Look at what love can do. Look at how they corrupted you. That's what he says to those who look above and those who have no love for the slain brothers who get reported on the news. He talks about living in a drought and how it's a wonder that at the same time none of them drown. And he talks about how he may not make currency, but at least he can make a change. I was like, oh, fuck with that wordplay, my nigga. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Now this next track, did I review every track on this album? Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I did. We'll see. This next track, Homerton, featuring J.N.R. Williams and Olivia Dean. This is a rather slow and jazzy beat. Um, uh, hold on. Oh no. You know what? Hold on. Let me just pause. Okay, sorry about that. um, here, Loyal talks about how another man brings sand to the beach, which I take that as him saying that bringing sand to the beach is another man bringing his experience to this beach full of sand, which can serve as other people's experience. Uh, and found myself, I find myself currently just reading some of these lyrics off of, in quotables of lyrics off of Genius because, um, I mean, what can I say? It kind of feels like a cheat in a sense, even though it's not really. It kind of gives more nuance. But I don't want to read so much because it feels like I'm cheating and not giving my interpretation of the review. I mean, of the album in my review. But yeah, like Loyal just talks about like thinking about the legacy that you leave, and the young man who hasn't had his first breath. So I guess that would mean an unborn child. And for a mother, assume that's his mother who can handle his stress, the stress that he brings. Not him as individually, but just the stress put on a mother or a parent in general, just having a child. Um, oh Lord, but yeah, just things like that. And really, I'd recommend, now that I think about it, go listen to the track, of course, listen to the whole album, but listen to this track specifically. There's a reason I find myself right here being so unprofessional and having in my notes on the written review saying, read Genius, because it's like there's so much here. And that's really symbolic of the whole album. There's so much. But with this track in particular, I find myself going, you have to read off Genius, but not so much. That's why I'm glad I at least had one thing to say here. Like another man bringing sand to the beach. Like I said, another man bringing his sand to this beach full with the sand of others and their experiences. Now, this next track, Blood on My Nikes, which it really resonated with me here, featuring Wesley Joseph and Athenian Akek. Uh, he just talks about getting blood on your Nikes when you walk through the tense areas where the monsters live, where brothers lose their life for being from the wrong side, and how knowing that these things happen, this made him scared of the night bus and scared of people who look just like him, and had him wondering why they wanted to fight, while the whole time he was wishing that he could just hug them and dap them up. And I love the outro skit calling out politicians for not doing shit. Not doing shit. Or having band-aid solutions instead of actually addressing the problem. Now this next track, um, Plastic. There's a funk that comes with this track here. And he's just talking about how everything is plastic. Like the cup, the queen, or the cup that the queen sips out of, or sipped out of. She's gone now. Plastic homes, and I guess glass houses too. Plastic smiles, plastic friends, lovers, and just the journey of the plastic, like what the plastic has seen, what it's gone through, like literal metaphorical and literal plastic, like what it's seen, what it's gone through, how it's gotten to where it is now. The plastic BBC. Um, now, when he says plastic BBC, does he mean plastic BBC as the news outlet or plastic BBC? It's sad either way. Next track, A Lasting Place, which this track is what I had the most to write about, what I found myself writing the most about. It's a very meditative beat. Um, he talks about how now this she could be his lover or even his mother, um, seeing his father in him, and that's why she argues with him. And how he's just looking for something, a place, a belonging that lasts because, why did my screen just, there we go. Something that lasts because everything fades or seems to. And I really enjoyed the What Kind of Man, I'm going to title it, skit halfway through because just the questions being asked by the woman. What kind of man cries at the feet of his wife in pain, holds up the pink and shrieking thing and feels the throb of time? What kind of man wraps the cloth around his waist and holds the baby to his chest? What kind of man feels the rage of men and only swallows at his daughter's fists? Um, and there were a lot of questions that were asked here about what kind of man, but these ones hit the most, or those hit the most. And Loyle expresses not planning on losing anyone that's left, at least not by choice. And he talks about being raised into the man that his mother hates. So I guess that I'd assume that would mean his father, unfortunately. And how she just knew his fate was sealed if she didn't um, step up, I guess, take on the challenge and be the bigger person and care for her child, their child, but her child, in terms of, I guess, how she seems to be the one mainly raising him. And he talks about how time waits for no man and how it didn't wait for his old man. And now he finds himself staring in the mirror, seeing the reflections of a grown man. But he don't want to be an old man. And that could have many meanings because talking about the reflections and him being an old man, like literally becoming an older man, but how he doesn't want to be an old man, not taking it as how he doesn't want to be a father, but how he doesn't want to grow into being like his old man. Now this next track, Polyphila, he talks about how when he was younger he wanted to be famous. Now he's older and he wants to be nameless. And this is another track where I definitely recommend that you go to Genius and read more because I don't want to read everything that I really resonate with this track because I'd pretty much be quoting the entire track, and that feels it feels freaking cheap. It feels lazy, and again, like it would serve to me not really giving my interpretation of the track. Um, but yeah, he's just talking about how he's trying to be the man. Um, well, he's trying not to be the man that he doesn't want to be. And unfortunately, again, it seems that he's talking about his father. The last track, HGU. This track is about the forgiveness to his father, like remembering when he was little and trying to make his father understand, and hoping that he would. And uh, in a future time, in a later time, past now, just being lucky that they could at least talk about these things, and knowing that his father is and was hurt. So whether directly or indirectly, consciously or unconsciously, his father hurt him. And Christ, man. And that's it. That's the review. Like I said, this was so relatable, not only because of how poetic it was, um, but just because it's just another, not just another, like, oh, it's just another, but it's an extension, it's an add-on, it's another piece of the puzzle that is the Black experience, that is not exclusive to America, but is just worldwide. I mean, there's certain little nuances that may be a little different that African Americans can relate to, or Africans in Africa can relate to, or Africans in the UK or other parts of the world they can relate to, and there might be like a not conflict, but a um, not as cohesive as far as the understanding. Yes, but all in all, at the end of the day, it's Black, so we relate to it. And that's pretty much it, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say this now. This is one of my favorite projects of the year, just off of all of that. How poetic it is, the beat selection, the delivery, the subject matter, everything. Like this album is just great, and I don't have a score to give it. And if you watch my reviews consistently, I mean, I know this myself, but as far as the viewer goes, if you watch my reviews consistently, or maybe not, this could be your first listen. Lately, I found myself not giving scores of 0 to 10, 1 through 10, because I just have it. I just talk about the album. I don't try to give it a score. I just talk about it and let that be it. Like it's that will say it for itself. Um, and that's pretty much it. If you haven't heard this album, I definitely recommend that you check it out. And if you have heard this album, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, and what you think about my review on it. And to add on here, if you haven't heard this album, like I said, I definitely recommend that you check it out. But come back later on and let me know what you think about it and my review on it. And that's not it. Be sure to hit the like button if you like this review. Hit the dislike button if you dislike the review. Share the review. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and like the content that you see. Check the description, because all of my, I guess, relevant links as far as connecting further with me are down there. Maybe not so the PSN link, since I haven't played a freaking video game since like July of 2021. I should get back into it though. Video games are freaking fun. That's pretty much it. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all next time.